to NAMM 2016. We are here at the Yamaha booth where some amazing news has been announced in the last few days leading up to the show. Today we would like to share with you the story of this historic launch of some fantastic new drums that already have an amazing legacy. In order to tell that story, we're going to have to go to China and Japan.
Well, I'm going to have to go then.
Oh yeah?
It's
well,
a bit hot
travel
over there.
is so advanced nowadays. Mike's just going to go and pop off to the Yamaha factory.
You're going to have to take my jacket.
I will.
See you later.
Bye.
In 2012, January 2012, Yamaha made the decision to move the factory to China.
Yeah.
What was the process behind that and the reasoning?
Okay, so it's been a huge investment, $10 million for a new manufacturing facility. What we wanted to do was gain control of the process and ultimately build better drums. And we've invested heavily in the machinery and the process to make sure that our drums are consistent, high quality. So the new factory is building live custom, an absolute hybrid.
Okay.
That was Gavin talking with Mike about the new Yamaha factory at Hangzhou. Here is Mr. Masato Oshiki discussing where he feels Yamaha is going with current and future products.
Well, I joined the Yamaha 1988, so currently 27 years.
Wow.
So I'm in charge of marketing and sales and marketing in entire all musical instruments all over the world.
So you're a very important man.
No, it's not so very important man.
Well, thank you for showing us, letting us see your factories.
Yes.
I'm very, very impressed.
Yeah.
The China factory is really impressive.
Yes, thank you very much.
And I know that drums over the next 3 years are an important thing for you. What do you think Yamaha's plans are for Yamaha drums?
Yes. So up to now, also we make a strong relation with artists, drummers. So we want to develop more new models with artist request. It's one of the important strategy for us.
Is that acoustic and electrics or?
Yes, both.
Okay.
Electric and acoustic is both. Development for us is very important. Not only the acoustic and not only electric. We have a two product line. For it's our core point, key point of Yamaha drums.
Very impressed. The factory's incredible.
Thank
It's
you.
very clean. Very clean. I mean, obviously the systems people can see on the videos of clearing the air, etc., etc. Another thing that really impressed me here was it's actually quite a small team that are working in each section. It's not mass produced.
No.
I think there was 4 people making the shells,
Yeah.
etc., etc. And they've all been trained by the experienced Japanese drum designers.
Yeah, I'm glad you're listening.
Very good. I've got it all. I've got it all down. But I also noticed Yamaha drums are actually a very small team.
Yeah.
I think people think it's a huge company.
Yeah.
So how closely do you work with the rest of the artists around the world and the rest of the company around the world?
Yeah. So basically, I mean, in terms of the industry, the drum industry is small compared to the guitars and other areas. But at Yamaha, we kind of have passionate people in the drum area, and it's very driven by passionate people. So, like myself, I've been with Yamaha a long time. My colleagues around the world have also been with Yamaha for the same kind of duration, as I'm sure you'll find out. And we communicate. It's much easier nowadays with link meetings and Skype, etc. We do a lot of meetings like that. But we also every year meet up at the NAMM Show, Mesa Show, go over to Japan and meet the designers, and we have a kind of a roadmap of maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years, so we know exactly what products we are planning and scheduling. And we have teams who go out and do market research, and we all communicate about what we need in each market, because actually it's very, very different, to what somebody in the UK wants to somebody in America to somebody in Japan. It's actually quite dramatically different. So we have the opportunity to get a really balanced view and opinion on it. And hopefully build the right instrument that everybody will like.
What's your favourite part of the factory?
Certainly the part you've just seen, the shell making. I
have to say, this is the oak shell.
Yeah, this is
as a carpenter's son.
Well, there you go.
It's beautiful.
So this is actually oak. This is a marching percussion, so quite thick ply. But the main thing is the the diagonal seam.
Yeah.
And this is why I like it so much. So this is a Yamaha invention, kind of in 1967. When we first built our drums in Hidemasa in Japan, this is the kind of design. This is what makes our drums very, very round, easy to tune, and get a much wider tuning range. Very, very strong. So we don't have.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
The seam obviously is different on the inside to the outside.
Well,
Makes it even stronger.
Yeah, different location.
Yeah.
So the seams are equally distributed around the shell, but because they're diagonal, the weak point is minimal. And also the way it's made with the airbag, we put pressure equally to dry it out. So when it comes out, it's literally like this, very, very, very heavy, very, very dry. About 99% of the moisture's come out of it, and it will stay like this shape for the rest of its life, which is why there's so many Yamaha kits, out there that 20, 30 years old, still loved and
Well, I personally love that piece of wood.
So what is this factory manufacturing? What is this product we are all excited to see? Who better to tell us than this guy?
Hi Mike, it's Steve Gadd, and I hope you like the sound of the new Recording Customs. I love the new Recording Custom drums. I love the snare drum. I think that Yamaha really raised the bar, and the drums respond well to different heads, to different tunings, and I think that they'll work well in a lot of different musical situations. Yamaha, takes good care of me, and always have. So I don't have any reason to look anywhere else. I've got a lot of friends. I've got a great relationship with the company, and I'm happy. The quality of the new drums is as good as it ever was, if not better. I'm real happy with the new gear.
Here is Stephen Fisher from Yamaha America talking with Mike about the involvement with Steve Gadd.
I know you went through the process over the last 6 months with Steve Gadd regarding the new Recording Custom kit. Can you give us a little bit of a background and what actually happened there?
Yeah, it was really interesting to actually be there and witness Steve Gadd going through the sound selection of the different, whether it's bass drums, toms, things like that. In one case, I remember in New York, he was selecting bass drums. And it was a very interesting process. We had many bass drums lined up, all tuned perfectly the same, and a lot of them had the same components on them, except for one thing was changed. In one case, it was actually the one-piece lug. That was the only thing that was different, so it had different weights. So each bass drum had a different weight for the one-piece lug, but everything else was exactly the same. And it was very interesting. With that many bass drums, I started thinking, boy, this might be a long process. And it was very interesting to watch Steve Gadd work, the fact that he really knew what he wanted out of a sound. He identified very quickly, and he didn't know what was there either. It was based on sound. He played the bass drums, he got in front of the bass drums while they were being played, and very quickly he assessed, he'd point, he'd say, that's the one. And it happened to be the one with the heavier weighted lug, one-piece lug. Same thing with the shell thickness. Everything was the same except different shell thicknesses for the most part. And it very clearly he was looking for that more rounded sound he wanted to get out of the bass drum. And next thing he literally did the same thing. He played the bass drums, got in front of the bass drums, listened to them, and he very quickly went, that's the one, that's the sound. And it happened to be the 6-ply. It wasn't the 8-ply, it wasn't the 10-ply, it was the 6-ply. But he was very quick to know what sound he was really looking for. And I think the most interesting part about that is after the fact, talking to the engineers, is you look at the sound data, the sound analyzation that they did on all those different components with all the different variables that were there, and it's basically what we say at Yamaha too, it's sound meets science.
Yeah. Can you tell me the difference between the old Recording Custom and the new Recustom kit that we've seen today?
Basically, we surely succeeded the identity of old Recording Custom because many people love that. But music trend has been changed. We need more volume, even on drums. because the guitar also basis technology is increasing. So that's why we need to add more bottom end into a recording custom, also a wider dynamics range into a new recording custom.
Okay, excellent. Can you tell me how you've achieved the new sound on this new recording custom?
We carefully selected the materials, wood materials, lacquer pigment or glue, such kind of things, and we found a better solution to succeed all the philosophy. But adding heavyweight, new designed rags. This is also one-piece rag, but we newly designed. So that makes that bring a more powerful tone into the drums.
So on the bass drum, how have you made this bass drum on the recording custom louder than before?
Oh, one biggest point is pry thickness is one pry smaller, thinner.
Yeah.
And 22 bass drum, it works very well. And we showed that to Steve Gadd, but Steve Gadd required more, especially on the 20s. That's why we introduced a bass drum lifter on a 20-inch bass drum. So that makes it possible to hit the center of the head, bass drum head. So that provides more tone on the 20. So 22 is shell thickness affects a lot, and additionally 20 has a bass drum lifter. That makes the bass drum sound more louder.
Was it the same process with Steve regarding the snare drums?
Yeah, similar process. I mean, he went through all the different snare drums, and especially playing them with the, once we got the recording custom kit finalized, that's when we started going through the snare drums and seeing how things blended and how things worked. Definitely, it was very apparent that he liked the outer bead on the snare drums, a little bit tighter sound. He definitely enjoyed that. That was one of the key things. I mean, it was really interesting too. Again, like the rest of the process he went through with selecting drums and all those different components and all the different variables, he knew exactly what he wanted. One of the other interesting things too is that we're including the 10-strand snares, Steve Gadd's snare strainer, in the 5.5 by 14 snares and all those, and it's a great story how he came about that. One of the reasons why he likes that the 10-strand snare is it's not as buzzy, obviously, because there's less snare. There's less of a snare strainer there, but especially at a lower dynamic, you can really hear the tone of the drum coming out. But a very interesting story, and he actually told me this because I asked him about it, and he said that he'd been playing years ago. He'd been playing, and his snare wires kept breaking every once in a while. He just kind of cut them off, kind of thing, and ended up getting down to basically roughly 10 or so snare wires on a strainer. And he sat down to play before a gig once, and his tech actually replaced it with a new snare strainer. And he played it. It was like, what happened here? What's going on? And I guess he asked his tech, and his tech said, oh, it was all a bunch of snare wires were missing, and I threw it in the trash. And he goes, go back and get it. That's a great sound. That's why you kind of ended up with that sound, which is a great story.
The big question is that you've moved from Japan to China, and China's got a reputation of making lesser quality products. So how do you answer that question? What's your answer?
Well, the first thing is we haven't moved production from Japan to China. We have a production facility in Japan. We have a design team still in Japan, and we've invested in a new facility in China. The most important thing I want people to be aware of is that this is a Yamaha factory. So this has completely like a Yamaha mentality about how we actually build products, and it could be anywhere. The fact that it's in China, as we may have seen, is because we have supporting factories, we have vendors. It makes perfect sense. But in terms of staff training, in terms of quality, in terms of QC, in terms of materials, everything, it's as you would expect from Yamaha. Really, honestly speaking, it doesn't matter where it is. I would also say, and just from my personal kind of feeling, China is a developing country. There's so much more things, built there. Maybe for my generation, it might be a bit of a shock. 10 years ago, maybe when people were making this change, it might not be in the time. But having been there, having seen it and witnessed it, it certainly isn't that country that maybe people would kind of presume. And it's certainly, we won't be the last person to be kind of thinking about this avenue or any other kind of developing country. But the main thing is, this is a Yamaha investment. This is a Yamaha facility built with Yamaha staff, trained by Yamaha people. That's simply it.
Okay. And what about the artists that left when you made that move?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because it's a personal issue. I think that at that time we were very cautious and concerned about our dealer partners and our customers before our artists. Whether that's right or wrong, I'm not sure. And I think at that time maybe some mistruths were told. Maybe we didn't have the time to consider how we were being perceived about this change. And then there might be some argument that it was beneficial for people to be going on a different journey. All I can say now is, you know, we've got so many talented, crazily ridiculous players who play and choose to play Yamaha. They don't get paid, they choose to play our product. People are joining Yamaha and people have been with Yamaha for a long time. If you're the right kind of minded player, then, you know, the Yamaha way hasn't changed. And, you know, we are building absolutely amazing instruments that drummers are really, really enjoying playing. So,
Dave Maddox is here with me now. Dave, you're one of the artists that Gavin is talking about, and these drums have been heard on hundreds of your hit records. Why do you choose and continue to use Yamaha?
It's a difficult question to answer with a short answer, but basically it starts with the sound. I really like the way the drums sound. I always have, I continue to do. They make sufficient varieties shell-wise to give anybody what they could possibly want. And the other reason is the hardware works, which is kind of obvious. But another reason for me is the aesthetics. I like the fact that the hardware works and the drums look how they do. And it doesn't, I think there's so much over-engineering with a lot of contemporary drums. Some things look like they were designed to be on the side of an oil rig rather than attached to a drum. And I like the straightforwardness, and and they look, obviously they look good, but it's the sound. I've toured with them, with people like Jethro Tull and Richard Thompson and Chris Rea, and I used them on the XTC record that I did and lots of other things, and I know what I'm dealing with, and I just really like the way the drums sound.
One of the things I've noticed speaking to the Japanese people here, high up the ladder, they want to make a big investment back into drumming over the next 3 years. It's a major part for them. They've brought back the Recording Custom, okay, which is a drum kit that they used to do, and they've come back. Why do you think they brought the same kit back again?
Well, we haven't brought the same kit back again. And when we did the future investment in the new facility, it was a conscious decision that we could actually have a chance to just take stock, have a look at what we've done before, and think about future product designs. So obviously we can't do everything all in one go. So live custom, we knew a long time ahead that we'd be making that change. That'd be the first product to come out of the factory. At the same time,
at the China factory.
In the Shaoxiang factory in Hangzhou. And then at the same time, we was trying to improve the Absolute series. So we was trying to bring concepts down from the PHX, including the lug and the shell design. So that was in design, and then we always knew that we wanted to do something with the Recording Custom. But the main point is that we didn't want to just do a remake. It's not about just changing the facility or trying to cut corners or do something. We wanted to try and develop that product and try and emphasize and actually make a new kind of direction for it. And that is the way that Yamaha are. And that's why I love working for Yamaha. That's why I think we have the artists that we have with Yamaha, because we are a progressive, forward-thinking, innovative company. We have so much, product designers, material division. We have so much at disposal, which I said to you in the factory.
Yeah.
You know, motorbikes, pianos, guitars, wind instruments.
Golf clubs after I saw today, yeah.
Golf clubs at the AV division. So anyway, so we can pull all these resources in, and it doesn't matter what, you know, product, and I say the word product because we're a lot deeper than that, but you know, what we're trying to design and bring to the market has to be better than what's gone before, and we hope that it's better than what anybody else can offer.
I've got Wolfgang here with me now. What are the configurations and availability on this product?
Hi Jill, nice to meet you. We have the recording custom here, and it's going to be available in Europe starting from April, and we will have it available in all 4 colors that we offer. So it's going to be real wood, surf green, solid black, and classic walnut. And we have different configurations. So like with Hybrid Maple series and with Live Custom series, we offer 3 tom packs, which is 10x7, 12x8, and then either 14x13 floor tom or 16x15. Those are the 2 tom packs. And then of course you can have everything as single components as well. So people just pick 1 tom pack, add a bass drum, or add an 18-inch floor tom to add that set, add an 8-inch tom to add that set, or you can go for single components from the beginning and just have a 12-inch, 16-inch, and a 22 by whatever. So we offer a variety of different sizes, and everything is going to be available. Well, hopefully everything is going to be available from April, but we're working on that at the moment.
And what about the snare drums?
Yeah, this is new because for the Recording Custom series we didn't have snare drums for a while, and here we have 7 new models in brass. That's 13x6.5, 14x5.5, 14x6.5 in brass. Then we have aluminium, 14x5.5, 14x6.5, and steel version in 14x5.5 and 14x7. And it's going to be maybe 1 month later, so could be that we have them on stock from May, but hopefully also from April on.
Well, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Jill, and have a nice show.
You too.
Thank you.
I've been itching and bursting to tell this story for a long, long time, and I know I've been known the depth of what we've been going through in terms of research, dealing with artists, and to get the right product. So, you know, we've been quiet for a long, long time whilst we've been doing this work, and now it's time that we really get out there and start, you know, shouting and telling people.
Thank you so much for that, Gavin. Mike, you're back. How was it? How was China? How was Japan? How was the factory?
Well, the factory was wonderful. I have to say that everything about it was really impressive. How they've made that transition from Japan to China. They've kept some of the old drum builders in the China factory to train the very small core team. The cleanliness of the factory was really amazing. And I have to say that the product that they've come out with this new kit is incredible. The snare drums, I really was impressed with the snare drums. The drums are amazing, and so yeah, I certainly feel that they have really pushed the boundaries on this one. So we finished here at the NAMM Show. It's getting loud with all these drums. You can see the buzz around this stand. So thank you very much, Yamaha, for looking after me, taking me to China and Japan, and we'll see you next time.